I'm going to be talking about religion and superstition and how they help form mores and laws. And so I don't have a game prepared, but I do have kind of an activity prepared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list off a couple of religions and religious and or superstitious beliefs, and then we're going to think about how they might serve a function. So this first one is the legend of Mishipeshu. The Ojibwe told stories of a great lake monster which took pleasure in killing people by causing storms or breaking ice on Lake Superior, causing people to fall through. So what might the function of this be? Take a second to think. What I said is that the function of this could be to keep small children away from fast-flowing streams or hazardous lake conditions, even when the parents were busy and not watching, so they wouldn't have to worry about it. How about this one? Vampires and garlic. Many societies recognize the danger posed by vampires. To counter this, people would hang garlic in and around their homes and rub garlic on windowsills, chimneys, and keyholes. Why might they do this? Take a second to think. I found that since ancient Egypt, people have recognized the insect-repellent properties of garlic, and this superstition could help to scare people into keeping their homes rid of bugs that could pose a serious threat to societies without access to modern medicine. And finally, modern superstitions surrounding the Romani people in Europe. In many parts of Europe, it is still believed that Romani people steal children and can use mind control. Why might this exist as a superstition? Take a second to think. I found that this stems from medieval era beliefs about the nomadic Romani people who Europeans viewed as hobos or like bums, and they found them to be extremely odd. This superstition exists to permit discrimination and to prevent interaction between the two groups. Medieval Europeans may have spread the superstition for fear of perceived potential danger. So clearly, superstitions serve as a method of social control on very small levels, like keeping kids away from water or stopping one's home from becoming infested with bugs. Religion, however, organized religion, serves as a method of social control on a much larger level. Under religious laws, people were not allowed to act in certain ways. A prime example that immediately comes to mind is the Ten Commandments. People were not allowed to murder, steal, lie, or become jealous of another person. Rules like these don't serve to keep people away from going into the dark, scary part of the forest, but rather to promote a specific worldview. They can also serve to maintain a religion's own presence in the world. So we're going to do the same thing that I did earlier, but I'm going to read a couple of clauses from some religious texts, and we're going to think about why these clauses might be added. This first one is from chapter 1, line 36 of the Book of the Law, and it reads, "My scribe Enk Afdakansu, the priest of the princes, shall not in one letter change this book, but lest there be folly, he shall comment thereupon by the wisdom of Rahu or Kuit." The second one is from Deuteronomy 4:2 in the Bible, and it reads, "Do not add to what I command you, and do not subtract from it, but keep the commands of the Lord your God that I give you." This third one, also from the Bible, Revelations 22:18, it reads, "I warn everyone who hears the word of the prophecy of this scroll. If anyone adds anything to them, God will add to that person the plagues described in this scroll." And this fourth one from the Quran, Surah Al-An'am 1:15, says, "The word of your Lord has been perfected in truth and justice. None can change his words, and he is the all-hearing, all-knowing." Why might these clauses exist in religious texts? Take a second and think about it. Obviously, these clauses exist to provide longevity and a maintenance of ways of thinking and like this worldview, to not only keep religion in place with a strong foundation, but also to keep religious leaders in power. And so as you can see, conflict theorists and functionalists may point out the same ideas to support their theories regarding religion. That brings us to religion and government. And I found that religion has almost always been used as a way to motivate people or forward an agenda. It has been used to justify actions and affirm the positions of powerful people. So take a look at the Behistun inscription written by Darius the Great in 521 BC. For context, the Achaemenid Empire, which Darius ruled, mostly practiced a kind of early Zoroastrianism. Ahura Mazda is a supreme deity in this religion. The inscription reads, King Darius says, "By the grace of Ahura Mazda am I king. Ahura Mazda has granted me the kingdom." King Darius says, "These are the countries which are subject unto me, and by the grace of Ahura Mazda I became king of them. Persia, Elam, Babylonia, Assyria, Arabia, Egypt, the countries by the sea, Lydia, the Greeks, Media, Armenia, Cappadocia, Parthia, Drangiana, Aria, Chorasmia, Bactria, Sogdia, Gandhara, Scythia, Satygidia, Arachosia, and Makkah. 23 lands in all." And the Crusades. I found a little excerpt from a song written from the time period to convince young men to go fight in the Middle East and Spain. Obviously, religion was used to do this because it was the Crusades. For context, King Louis IX, who would later be canonized as a saint in the Catholic Church, was a French king who helped organize and lead the Seventh Crusade, even though many of the French aristocracy did not want to go. It reads, "Edessa is taken, you know this well, and Christians are dismayed at this. The monastery is burned and abandoned, the Eucharist is celebrated no longer. Knights, why are you still thinking about this? You who are prized for deeds of arms, offer yourselves to the one who was raised on the cross for your sake. Whoever goes now with Louis will never have fear of hell, for his soul will be in paradise with the angels of our Lord. Follow Louis' example, who has more to lose than you have. He is a rich and powerful king. He has been crowned above all others. He has abandoned furs and sables, castles and villages and cities, and he has turned to the one who was tormented on the cross for our sake." The Ottoman Empire, also used religion to put down and mock the many Austrian defeats during the late 1500s by suggesting that they are deniers and rejectors of faith. For context for this next thing, it was a highly contested city under Austrian rule in what is now Hungary. This is an excerpt from a song that was written sometime after the Ottoman invasion and alludes to another significant Austrian defeat at the hands of the Ottoman Empire. And it reads, "The infidels thought that Eger belongs to them. They look like they have smoked opium. Ask those Austrians and Poles, how quickly did they forget Mohács?" Also consider how many other victories are attributed to a higher power. Think about the Spanish in the New World, right? Constantine the Great, right? The Turks at Manzikert. The defeat of the Ottoman Empire, Lepanto, in 1571, where the Pope commanded many Catholics to pray for the Catholic Navy to defeat the Ottoman Empire. And they did. My next point, divine right. Divine right was the idea that kings received their authority from God and therefore could not be challenged by others. Later on, this sort of evolved to become like governments receive their authority from God and they're permitted to do what they do. Like the Confederacy, the Confederate motto was Deo Vindice, which means with God as our defender. The Nazis had Gott mit uns, which means God is with us. Obviously, you can see how this serves as a motivator and basically permits these governments to do horrible things. And even in America, where we pride ourselves for our separation of church and state, religion is still used to back up authority. During the Civil War, the famous poem, The Battle Hymn of the Republic, was written to motivate people and support and join the Union in putting down the Confederacy. The final verse reads, "In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with a glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us die to make men free, while God is marching on." Even today, religion is still used to convince people to support specific leaders. Donald Trump established himself as a Christian candidate and promoted this image heavily during his campaign in 2024. Even this year, he opened his first cabinet meeting with a prayer. So consider Donald Trump's image and Pete Hegseth's countless religious tattoos, including one which says Deus Vult, which means God wills it and was a motto used by the Crusaders. And his book, warning of the dangers, quote-unquote, dangers, of leftism and Islam. So here are some images of that. You can see Donald Trump and his cabinet praying. You can see Pete Hegseth and his Jerusalem cross tattoo. his book American Crusade, this propaganda image of Jesus with the flag and Donald Trump and John, who's that guy that we talked about when we talked about like manliness, John Wade? What was his name? Anyway, that's him. Also, this Orthodox Archbishop, I think it was, compared Donald Trump to Constantine the Great, who was the Roman emperor that converted the eastern half of the empire to Christianity due to his military victory, in which he believed that Jesus came and said, hey, if you convert to Christianity, you're going to win. So I did talk about a lot of military things in this, which is a pretty extreme example, I now realize. So I want you to know that it's not just military where religion is used to like motivate people to do things. Religion is also invoked to support other things like the expansion of European powers into the New World. Like in America especially, Christians believed it was their duty to tame the wilderness and turn it into farmland. So if I want you to walk away from this having learned one thing, it would be that religion is used to motivate people to specific causes. Religion or superstition or other supernatural beliefs are used as a method of social control in ways to actually keep people safe and make people like think and live a certain way and like hold a certain worldview or ensure that that religion stays in place. And this can help preserve tradition in a culture. However, these systems can also be used to assert the authority of powerful figures and justify war and like territory expansion. Supernatural beliefs have been used in these ways since the dawn of mankind and will probably continue seeing them used in this way. Thank you.